Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees, and I love going to visit people's houses that are growing fruit trees and just to see how they're doing it, where they're at, and I love to get the backstory and learn how they got into it and why they're doing it. Well, today on the show, I'm going to be going to a lady named Pat, her house, and it's really amazing how many of the houses in her area are being knocked down for big, expensive houses, but she's maintaining her nice, humble house with a nice humble yard, and she's growing some fruit trees. She's been growing for a while. She's going to talk about her story and her fruit trees, and it's going to be an exciting episode. So let's go and visit Pat now in her yard, and here it goes. Okay, everybody, here we are with Pat, and we're in her yard here. She has a good amount of fruit trees. Say hello, Pat, to the audience.
Oh, hi. I'm Pat. I live in Delray Beach, East Delray Beach. It's one of the driest parts of the county, so that's a challenge with growing plants.
But it's interesting because you're near Waltersville and Truly Tropical Mango Farm. You're like in between both of them, or very close to both of them.
This used to be, I don't know if you know, historically this was a big mango area in Palm Beach County. There were some early settlers who grew mangoes right around here in this neighborhood.
Wow. So what year was this when you say this was a mango area?
Early 1900s.
So there was like a big mango farms in this area?
Yes.
Were they before Zills or was they Zills?
No, before Zill.
Oh, wow.
Like some of the earliest settlers in Delray Beach grew mangoes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, there's a whole bunch now. So when you moved here, did you put these trees in or were they here when you got here?
Oh, everything I planted. When I moved in, there was a huge ficus tree out here, blew over in a hurricane, and I thought, okay, great, I'm going to plant fruit trees instead. So I've been here since 2001, and it's been like an experiment for me. I have a background in landscape architecture, and I've always loved plants. So I've tried all kinds of different plants, and for me, whatever is the most low maintenance is what stays in my yard.
Okay. And how big's your property?
Oh, it's not even a quarter of an acre. It's tiny. It's a city lot.
Okay.
But I cram a lot of trees in, as you'll see.
I am excited. So take us on a tour of your yard.
Let's start over here. This is a longan. I planted it about 5 or 6 years ago. It had a few fruit last year. Unfortunately, it likes a cold winter, so I don't think it's going to stay. It's not been a good producer, so...
And how long have you had it?
Maybe 6 years.
Okay, so you're not scared to get rid of it if it's not producing.
Exactly.
I like you. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, this was a turpentine mango tree that grew in my compost pile. I just grew there, and I thought, okay, I'll plant it, see what happens. It was before I knew a lot about mangoes. That was maybe 10 years ago, and it grew like crazy. And it had really delicious fruit, very stringy, as you probably know about the turpentine. But so sweet. I thought, okay, I'm keeping this tree. And then during COVID, one of my hobbies that I picked up was learning how to graft on mango trees. So now this tree has about 6 varieties on it.
Wow.
And the one that's doing the best right now is sweet tart. And you can see all these fruit over here are sweet tart.
Wow. So so what are the other varieties you put on this tree?
I put on Maha Chinook, Malika, ice cream, Pim Sing Mung. There are about 5 of them, but none of the other ones really worked. I think the Maha Chinook has survived, but the rest
sweet
of them,
tart took. Okay.
The sweet tart is working, so I want to turn half the tree into sweet tart.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite trees. It's a loquat. It's not a kumquat. It's a loquat. It's not a citrus. It also has no pests that I've experienced, and it's very drought tolerant. I planted it about maybe 15 to 18 years ago. I don't do anything to it, and it produces fruit every year, and it's delicious. I just finished getting a lot of fruit, but there's one left over here.
Oh, it's here. There's another one up there, but can I take this off?
Yeah, eat it.
So you say it's a dry area. Do you have any irrigation on your water?
I do have irrigation, but I never turn it on.
Do you have a well here?
I have a well also, but I use city water. Ooh, he's tasting it. Ooh, juicy. Is it a little tart? Sweet and tart? My mouth's
Sweet
watering.
and tart.
I love them.
This would be great with miracle fruit.
Oh yeah, what a good idea.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of loquats, but this is pretty good.
Yeah, I like to eat them right off the tree. They go bad if you keep them around like more than 2 days, so I just eat them off the tree. And there's more fruit coming.
So do you cut this tree back, or does it always...
Oh, I have. In the very beginning, I cut the top off because I saw one that was like 30 years old and it was massive. And I said, I don't want that to happen. So ever since then, I've just trimmed it a little bit. It doesn't really like being trimmed. It gets a lot of dieback if it doesn't get sun. So I kind of let it do its own thing. I'm going to trim the turpentine, though. That's too big.
Okay, now you say that you're into landscape design.
Well, yeah, I studied it, but I never became a landscape
But now you're
designer.
into edible trees.
Yeah.
So this is a nice little tree here, but it's not edible. Do you ever think when you walk past it, that's a wasted spot, or do you think... Okay.
I'm moving into that stage now. In fact, I might take this out and put in sugar apple instead. Because I used to grow sugar apple, and then they died, but it's one of my favorite fruits. So I don't have space in the back to put another sugar apple back in. But I think I'm going to turn this into sugar apple. I tried to grow pineapples here, but they're kind of not doing so well. So I'm going to try something else.
Okay.
So we can go around this side. Construction noise next door.
I see that. Wow. So
They destroyed my fence.
are they putting in a whole bunch of new houses, this whole block? It looks like they're putting in these modern houses.
Yeah, a lot. A lot of the old houses, they bought them out, and they're putting in these
They're
million-dollar houses. Yeah,
Are they $1 million?
more,
Really?
maybe 2.
Have they offered you $1 million yet for your
yeah.
house?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I don't want it. I want to grow the trees.
$5 million?
No, I still wouldn't go.
No? $10 million?
No.
No? Okay.
Money is not a thing. I would rather have happiness than a bunch of money.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. This whole fence has passion fruit.
And how does that do for you out here? Well,
There's some down here. These are the easiest things to grow that I've ever experienced. I'm thinking of putting more all over the yard. They don't need much. I never did anything to them. I don't even water them. And they make fruit twice a year, sometimes 3 times, depending on the variety that you have.
wow.
And I hand pollinate the flowers.
Oh,
I
so
get
maybe
more
that's a
fruit.
trick. You hand pollinate them.
Yeah, you get more fruit that way. So it's growing all over here. These are soursop.
Seedlings?
This was a seedling, and this was a graft. And they haven't produced fruit yet. I don't know if they will, because now they built a big house next door. It might be too shady. But the passion fruit's working.
Do you remember what kind this was, this grafted one?
No.
No,
I got it
okay.
at one of those giveaways.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just where I do a lot of potting. I potted, these are all seedlings from monoembryonic mangoes, so they'll grow true to the parent.
And do you know what you planted? Or
Yeah,
you don't?
it was sweet tart and orange sherbet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you like sweetheart, huh?
Yeah, I do. This is a very cool plant. It's called pandan. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. But my friend gave it to me. You grind up and make juice out of the green leaves that taste like vanilla.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is
So you can make juice out of the leaves.
yeah, you have to juice it. And, it gets
And they
this-
taste like vanilla.
yeah, it's like a vanilla seasoning. It's very nice.
And it's edible, totally edible in terms for juicing?
Yeah, yeah.
What's it called?
Pandan.
Pandan.
Yeah.
I gotta look into that because I love vanilla.
Yeah, you'd like it. They make this pandan chiffon cake. It's really delicious. It's green and it's delicious.
Wow.
Pandan.
So we got a starfruit here?
Oh, yes. This is also a very low maintenance tree. One of the first trees I planted probably in 2002. And I've trimmed it back to keep it sort of short. It produces fruit 3 times a year. And it's absolutely delicious. All my friends say it's the best starfruit they've ever had.
Do you know what variety it is?
It might be that Fong Tang one.
Okay.
Because it's a little bit lighter color. It's yellow
Yep,
and it has
sounds
deep
like it.
lobes and the star. And it gets big. And it tastes good even when it's underripe. It's not too sour. It's delicious and juicy. A couple years ago, they had so much fruit that a branch bent over and broke.
That's
it
how
was
they get it.
loaded with fruit. Yeah. All right. This is one of my favorite trees. This is a white mulberry. Also, very, very easy to grow. I don't do anything to it. It produces every year.
Those aren't ripe, though.
No, I did see a ripe one this morning.
Now this tree gets pretty big, huh?
I have to cut it back. Yeah. Here's a ripe one. Have you ever had white mulberry?
It's been a while. I used to get them in New York off the trees.
Oh, here's one.
Oh, look at that.
Eat the white, the yellow, light yellow part. Let's see. It's very
Delicious.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I think it tastes like honey.
They're not as sweet as the red ones, but they're sweet and they do taste like honey. I like the flavor.
Yeah, I love the flavor. And as you can see, I'm going to have a lot of fruit.
How many times a year does this fruit?
Just once.
Okay.
Loses all the leaves in the winter. And then as soon as the leaves come out, all the fruit comes out. So it'll be a while, maybe a week or two before I have a lot of fruit, if the iguanas don't get it first.
So you share your fruits with iguanas.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Okay.
This just grew over here. But these are two Suriname cherry plants.
These are black or red? They look like the red ones.
They'll turn dark red, and they'll look like the color of a Bing cherry.
Okay.
And I've had very good success with those. They grow all by themselves also. You can prune it. It would like a little more sun, but it's fine. You know what this is?
Lemongrass?
No. Sugar
cane. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I can see that. Wow.
It likes more water than I would like to provide, but I do water it every now and then. And then when the cane gets big, just cut it off and you can eat it.
Amazing.
It's kind of fun.
But does it take over like bamboo or not really?
No. It gets a new shoot, like one new shoot every year. It doesn't grow like crazy, but it comes back.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is my jackfruit. This one's a red jackfruit.
Wow. Is it a seedling or a graft?
Graft.
Do you know what the name is?
Oh, no. I got it at one of those rare fruit council plant sales maybe 12 or 13 years ago.
Do they grow big?
The fruit or the tree?
The fruit.
Well, jackfruit can grow up to be like 80
yeah,
pounds.
Some do, but your variety.
Mine, no, this is the best crop I've ever had. So last year I had 3 or 4. The year before I had 1. So I don't really know how big mine will get yet. But here's the difference between the male and the female, if you want to get a close-up of that. This one's female. It'll turn into fruit. And this one's male, just has pollen on it. And that's what you use to pollinate the female. So it's very delicious. We discovered a new trick with that one to limit the amount of latex on your hands when you're cutting it up. We had left one in the refrigerator that was ripe for like a day and a half. And when I cut it, there was no latex.
Wow.
I don't know if that's just this variety.
When you put it in the fridge, was it ripe?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is an avocado tree that is almost 20 years old, probably longer. And 2 years ago, it got so much fruit that all the branches were hitting the ground.
Wow.
It bent over. And then it all broke off and died. I thought the whole tree was going to die, but it didn't.
Do you know what kind of avocado it is?
No, it's the big ones.
There's a lot of big ones. Was this planted by you?
No, I planted it, but it was a graft, and it was before I knew anything about trees at all. I don't know the variety, but it's delicious.
Yeah.
This is a Namdak Mai, and like a lot of other people, I got 1 million flowers and then a whole bunch of fruit dropped off, but that's fine because it's not a great, the past couple years it hasn't been a good producer. Before that it was very good, so if I get fruit on it, I'm happy. So it looks like it's going to get fruit this year, obviously, if they stay on.
You have this one here.
Okay, this one is called jaboticaba. It's a Brazilian little tree. It could be big. And this was the fruit. I've had it 13 years. I've been waiting 13 years for the fruit to come because it's very unique. It grows right on the bark. It's like little grapes on the bark. So finally, I get the little flowers and the fruit. And then it was last week, I think, on a Monday night, I came home from work and I was tasting them every day. And I thought, oh, they're almost ready to pick tomorrow. They're starting to get sweet instead of be sour. Tomorrow, I'll pick a whole bunch. It'll be delicious. The next night I came home, they were all gone.
Oh, no.
The whole tree picked clean by the raccoons. I was devastated. I waited 13 years for the fruit.
Wow.
There's a couple left on the tree.
Yeah.
There's like two
There's
left.
one over there.
But they're very delicious when they're ripe. And it's a unique tree. When it's full of fruit, there's little purple balls
They're
everywhere.
beautiful.
It's
Yeah.
very pretty tree. Let's just go this way. Trying to grow bananas. I don't have the best luck. This one's a Namwa Thai banana. That one's called Grand Rain. It's the first time I've planted it.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a good producer. And this one is Rajapuri,
Okay.
which seems to be the happiest in this location. It's got some little shoots coming up. And there's some squash that just grew from compost down there. This is
So you said from compost. So do you throw your compost under the trees?
I just toss it out here.
Wonderful. That's great.
As you can see, there's lots of stuff. But you know what? If the animals want to eat it, that's fine. But it doesn't look like they've been eating it, so.
They're already full from Jabba.
This is called finger lime. I planted it maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It hasn't had fruit yet, but it's supposed to do well in a shady situation because it's an understory species. And the lime, the fruit that you get from it is like the size of your thumb. And when you pop it open, it has a bunch of little balls inside, kind of like the citrus balls in fruit. But that's all that it is. It's just a bunch of little flavor balls inside. So I thought that would be a really fun one to grow. We'll see if it makes fruit.
See how it goes.
That's the test. This is a soursop. I don't remember how I got it.
There's a tag on it. Does it say what name it is?
Where's
Right
the
there.
tag? Oh, nope, it's all faded off.
Okay.
It has one little fruit there and a flower here. So it might stay on. It sort of kind of likes this location, so I'm going to try to plant another one next to it, see what happens.
Now I see your neighbor has a big
Sapodilla.
sapodilla tree.
Yeah, I like it.
Are you
They
friends
don't
with your
like it.
neighbor? They don't like it.
Yeah, so they don't mind if I take their sapodilla.
You don't know what variety that is?
No, but that's an old tree.
It's old and big. Yep.
That's the house, the little house back there was the original cottage, was built in 1924. So I bet the tree was from way back, yesteryear. Yeah. This is a lemon meringue. I've had it about
Wonderful.
6 years. It's not doing that great. I had a few flowers this year, no fruit. So I'll give it a couple more years and see what happens. I love lemon meringue, but if it doesn't want to make fruit in my yard, we'll put something else in that does.
There's a moringa. You have a moringa tree.
Oh yeah, I have 3 of those. I have to cut them back all the time because they grow
They
like
get
crazy.
big, yeah.
Seedlings drop, and this is sweet potatoes. I've never dug them up, but I just put a sweet potato in the ground once, and a bunch of leaves came. So it might be about time to see if there's any potatoes in there. This is a pretty gardenia, but it doesn't, when the flowers come out, they don't have a smell. It's a native gardenia.
Oh.
It has pretty white flowers, but no fragrance. This is a black sapote that probably would like a little more sun, but here's an old flower thing that a fruit thing that I probably didn't catch in time.
Have you gotten fruit off this?
Have what?
Have you gotten fruit off this
Yes.
tree? Okay.
Yes, it makes fruit every year, but it's also a little bit of a challenge. I like to pick them when they're almost ripe because I don't know when to pick them. I can't tell when they're ready to be
Yeah,
picked.
you have to wait till the thing's coming off the top. If you check my channel, you'll see.
Okay, because they seem to stay green for a long, long time.
Gotta know when to pick them.
So yeah, and then if I leave them on the tree, and then
The raccoons get them.
raccoons get them, or they drop if you miss 3 days and they're ripe and it's gone. Yeah. So here's a little more sugar cane. It just pops up. Just a few little things. This tree is called Grumi Chama.
Well, that's
From
really
Brazil.
big, tall. Yeah.
There's a couple, here's some little fruit that's coming out.
Do you get worms in yours or no?
No, no worms. This tree, when the fruit comes out, it's the most delicious, it's one of the most delicious backyard fruits I've ever tasted. It tastes almost like a Bing cherry, and they're very pretty, like purpley red fruit. But the most I've ever gotten off this tree is about 10 cherries. And this year it had a bunch of flowers, and it looks like I'm only going to have a handful of cherries. And it likes a lot of water. A couple winters ago I didn't water it enough, and it lost a lot of leaves, and now it's not very happy. So I don't know. It might be a little too high maintenance in terms of water. So this is a new orange sherbet tree
Okay.
that we're planting in there.
Well, look at that white sand. Amazing.
Yeah, the sugar sand.
That's mangoes love that.
Oh,
Where'd you
that's
get
good.
this tree?
I got this from Walter Zill.
Okay, Walter Zill lives close by.
Yeah.
Now you know the pot says it's lemon meringue.
Yeah, but he grafted, and that thing says orange sherbet.
Okay.
And he always puts a metal tag. It says OS.
Well, nice, nice.
Yeah, so
Oh, great.
yeah. So that's the plan, to get that in that hole.
Okay.
This
very
is
nice.
also one of Walter's. It's Pickering.
Pickering. Yep. And it
And-
looks like it's doing well.
It does. It just planted it in September,
Oh wow.
and it's already got fruit on it. So very happy about that. But I wish I had picked a bigger tree to go here, because I used to have a lychee tree. It was massive. Had it about 22 years, but it only had fruit 3 times.
There you
So
go.
I thought, taking up too much space. You know, I can have a mango tree that gets fruit every year. So, and it got the disease, the lychee
the
mite
mite, yeah.
disease. Yeah. So that came out. So then I thought, oh, I'll put a mango in there. I got this one, but I didn't know it was going to stay on the small side because I wanted it for privacy over here. But we'll see. Maybe it'll grow tall.
They'll get big. They just grow slower.
Oh, okay.
They
So
take
that's
a
good.
while.
And this is a little lime tree.
Do you get limes off it?
Yes, it's a very good producer. I didn't spray it with neem oil the last couple weeks because it had a lot of giant swallowtail caterpillars on it. It had a bunch, like 10 of them. So, and then today I came out and I don't see them anymore, so I don't know what happened to them. If the birds ate them or if they turned into something else. So
Very nice.
we did a little circle of the yard. Oh wait, did we go out there yet?
No, no.
Oh, okay, there's more passion fruit. This is all passion fruit.
Oh, I like that, the way you did that.
This is, I think, a purple possum variety,
Okay.
which used to do good in my yard, but lately it hasn't been doing very well. But the yellow kind, there's a self-pollinating yellow kind that's on the other fence that I planted from seeds that I got from some guy named Clark in Fort Myers. And that one does really well, and I've shared those seedlings with all my friends, and it produces great. This one, not so great, but it's still here. And this one I'm not sure if this is the purple possum or a yellow one. I'm not quite sure, but it grows great. So it's one of my favorite plants to grow because I don't have to do anything to it. I just trim off the dead branches
But you do hand pollinate
and I hand
them.
pollinate, which is really fun. And the more you pollinate, the more fruit you get. So, and you can smell the flowers. Like if you come out in the afternoon and you can smell the flowers, you'll know that it's time to pollinate. So, and it just comes out here.
You got a coconut? No, is that a coconut
Yeah, that's
growing
a
there?
coconut that it
Okay.
just grew in the bushes. when you throw, as you may know, when you throw down the coconuts, if they still have stuff inside, they grow a sprout, and the sprout is delicious.
Yep.
You can eat the little
They're
ball
really
inside.
good, yeah.
Oh, it's really good.
All
Yeah.
right.
Oh, and I think that's the kind of butterfly that will eat the whole plant. I'm not sure, but is it the Gulf fritillary that will totally consume your passion fruit? I'm not sure which one it is, but knock on wood, doesn't land on mine.
Very nice. So that's the tour.
So, yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming, Paul.
Thank
It's
you so
great
much.
To meet you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you. And your neighbor has some fruit trees as well. We saw in the back.
The sapodilla, I think that's their only fruit tree.
And what's over there? Is that your other neighbor?
There's a little park over there.
Oh, is there fruit tree? This says something garden on the.
Yeah, it's just called La Hacienda Garden. It doesn't. When we established it, the neighborhood, we tried to get together and request fruit trees or flowering trees, and the city said no.
Wow.
So now we have a little play structure. There were no children in the neighborhood at the time. We said, we don't want a play structure. We don't want a picnic table. We want flowering trees or fruit trees. And they said, no.
Wow. Well, thank you for showing us around your beautiful house.
Oh, thanks for coming, Paul. I really enjoyed
Okay.
meeting you.
Great.
All right, everybody, there it was. I love visiting people, like I said, that have growing fruit trees. If you are growing fruit trees and you'd like me to feature you on the show, please contact me in the email below in the description. And I'd love to come out, especially if you're in South Florida, and visit you and film your fruit trees. Until then, everybody, have a great day and keep growing. And thank you, Pat, for being on the show. It's a wonderful, fruitful life. Have a great day, everybody, and keep growing.